Yes, everyone, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur with your boys, Dave and Jack and Tron as well. As you can see, myself and Jack leading the line yet again today, and I cannot wait to go again. Surely, we're not going to go 6 games without a victory, but to get us through this painful build-up today, Jack, how are you keeping, my man?
Doing well, Dave. It was looking like you and I were going to be a front two today, and you were just going to keep dealing me all the questions, and I was going to keep firing them and answering them as best I could. But Toronto Vision, like you've said in the private chat, is going to be helping us out today. Looking forward to this one, and looking forward to what hopefully is a Spurs win, because like you say, we really do need it.
Yeah, really, really do need it. I think everybody could do with a good pick-me-up just before Christmas. Now, heading down to the Prophet, so I've now nicknamed him Toronto Vision. And, I have a new nickname for him every time he seems to come on. Dermot, how are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, we had to get the Prophet here, didn't it? The Spurs Prophet here with voice and wisdom. Just to back you up, Dave, I'm like Moses with the the Spurs 10 Commandments. We shall not lose today. And then Dave's behind me, but all the Harris Army, all the Spurs fans, and I just lift away the Red Sea, Tottenham High Road, so all the Spurs fans can come down with trophies. We are going to win today. We need a win today. The boys better not let us down. If so, I'll be going to them, giving them a good telling off myself. So be warned.
There must be something down in that fresh sea air down near Wexford where you live, lad. Absolutely love it.
I had the burning bush and everything. It came to me in the middle of the night. Dermotron, you're the Tottenham Prophet. You've got to lead them. You've got to lead them into glory. So I'm doing. It's a hard task. It's not everyone gets this.
You say glory or gory, lad?
I said glory, not gory. Not a lot happens in gory, to be fair. So I'd rather that more happen gory than gory. But it's a responsibility, Dave. I have to take it. It's a responsibility of leading Tottenham to glory. So somebody's got to do it.
I suppose someone has to do it. Someone has to take the burden on their shoulders, my man. But look, let's crack in. Let's see who's up this lunchtime tuning in with us. We have Eddie, 22. Big up, guys. Question: if we fail again today, is it time to start asking questions of Ange? Now, Eddie, I've plenty of questions in and around the Ange Postecoglou situation going on right now. So we will get into that, my man.
Yeah.
And I'll also be having my own say on it as well. Cooper99 says, big up, everyone. He's responding to Eddie. I'd say this is the time you can see who is actually backing a manager among the fan base. I'm 100% behind Ange. I can see a part ahead. Great answer. Great answer, I have to say. Then we have Ash also says, I'm with you. Even with losses, I can see a vision for how we want us to play. I'm backing him all the way. Absolutely love that. Big up, Stratters. Good to see you coming in over from Spurs Talk Show. Hopefully you're keeping well and hopefully you enjoy the match day content, my man. Good to see you in the building. It says, can't decide on my prediction for this one, lol. Just hope Ange plays Decky in the 10 again. Another talking point we'll definitely be getting ourselves into on that. Big up, Stratters. We have Shem Tan. Hey, Jack and Dave. Hope you're both well. Getting that old last year sinking feeling about this team, trying to stay positive but finding it hard. Hopefully we put in a performance this time and win. Come on, you Spurs. Shem Tan, people hear me speaking about, the same old patterns reoccurring all the time. And it does look like it's going to happen again. And if it does, I'll be honest, as much as I love this group of players, it'll be absolutely unforgivable to get another manager sacked. You can't go through Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, and then switch completely 180 to Ange Postecoglou and none of it work out. That just shows you've got deeper problems at the club and then management. Look, I thought we already knew this, to be honest with you, Shentan. Thought we already knew this, but big up, brother. Good to see you in the building. We also have Spurs GCTV. Hi, guys. Good to see you in the building, my man. Andrew Seymour, 2-2 today. Another Desmond. Can't see us winning, but think a draw is the best we can expect under the circumstances. This is my take on it. Andrew's getting the best already out of these players. Patience is key. Absolutely agree with that, my man. Good to see you in. We've gone from Toronto Vision back to Dono Vision. And he says, sneaky suspicion. We are going to give Newcastle a hiding today at home in front of the faithful, especially after the dross that was shown last time out. We owe Newcastle for last season. Absolutely couldn't agree more, my man. got our pants pulled down last season. I actually text Jack after I think the fourth goal went in. I was like, Jack, please just end the stream. Like, just we'll make up something, you know. We'll say we just clicked the wrong buttons or whatever have you not. Just get me off. I can't take this embarrassment. But of course, your boy's a sucker. But I did get to see Harry Kane score one of his last goals at Tottenham. I suppose that was a good thing. But big up Donovan. We definitely owed him an absolute spanking today, my man. Spurs GCTV says, I think so much was made of not scoring against West Ham. We will bag 4 or 5 today. Fair point. We have Mark Cook. Good afternoon, Dave, Jack, and chat. Free hit for this season. The board have to get behind the manager and get the players if he wants for the way he plays. Let's see what the board do. Couldn't agree more. I mean, look, you know, I think people are now coming to the end of their tether with the likes of Dyer and stuff like that. But I'd argue it's already too late. I tried warning that it'd come back to haunt us before January transfer window. And that's why we needed to push these guys out in the summer and continue bringing in more. But it didn't happen. And hopefully now we've learned our lessons, because we can't keep going through this, Mark. You're 100% right. It's over to the board now. Ash has shown that his football works against the bigger teams. Now it's just down to filling out that squad, my man. Adrian Schrocka, good afternoon, sir. Good to see you. We also have Phil Coy's big up, lads. Need to get a result today. We need to be clinical when we get our chances. Be ruthless. Come on, you Spurs. Couldn't agree more. You know, we have to learn to become ruthless, my man. We have Rain Man says, good afternoon, and come on, you Spurs. The recovery starts today. Yeah, they'll be calling us the AA after today's victory if we win, my man. The recovery experts. Isn't that what they call the AA? Or they self-proclaim themselves that. Anyway, big up Martin Knightsbridge. First of all, everybody, you know, Thursday night, Taylor went in for a back surgery, which is Martin Knightsbridge's son, and he came out the other side successful, which we always love to hear. So big up Martin and big up Taylor as well. Good afternoon. Law of averages says 3 points today. Come on, you Spurs. I really do hope so, Martin. If we're getting down to law of averages, we're in a right pickle, aren't we? Liston Hines says, afternoon, tired of losing. I need a win to recover some mental sanity. Couldn't agree more, my man. Carl Higgins says, good afternoon. All the fight back begins. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that. Neil Shafton, good morning from the windy city of Simi Valley, California. Blown up a storm here, 65, 70 miles per hour winds. Jesus Christ. Let's beat the Toon Army. Maybe Ange brought some Aussie magpies to bother them Geordies. Come on, you Spurs. Jack, you seem to get like atrocious weather over it. I don't think I'd survive over there.
Never heard of that. I've never heard California getting such strong winds. That's pretty intense. I'm really sorry about that, Neil. And please stay safe, sir. Stay indoors. If you got a nice basement with a big TV that you can watch the Spurs game in, I'd say head into the basement of some kind, because that's pretty intense there, sir. So stay safe. Hopefully you got enough food and nice cold Cokes in the fridge and all that good stuff to just sort of hunker this one out. You know, just sort of ride it out. Maybe a bit of hibernation until this one blows over. Big up, Neil. Stay safe.
Big up, Neil. Big up, my man. We also have Mick Hermerlock. Good afternoon, Jack, Dave, and Dermot. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Mick. We have Daniel H196 or Dave H1960. My namesake says, big up, Dave, Jack, and Dermot. Hi to all in the chat. Come on, you Spurs. Sure you're not my long-lost brother, lad? You know, same name. I wonder is your last name Harris as well. You sure you're not my long-lost brother? Killian Gubin says, hi, legends. Big up, Killian. Great to see you in the house, and hopefully you are keeping well, sir. We also have Peter Aga. Big up, guys. Hope we got a win today. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that. Who else have we got? We've got Big Pants. Only a fool will predict the score today. Will Spurs or Spursy turn up? Well, that we'll have to wait and see, my man. Jack Bloom 2023 says, hey, Spurs fans, come on, you Spurs. Love that. Big up there, Hutchinson. Good to see you in, sir. Big up, Dave, Jack, and Dermot. More pain today. Guys, Spurs 1, Newcastle 2. Come on, you Spurs. Look, it very well could end up like that. Let's just be real with it. You know, it very well could. Although, I do back us to try and break that trend today. We've got Dark Sung G in the building. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. I'm not sure what time it is for you, Dark Sung G. Please let us know. He says, Man United lost badly to Bournemouth and Villa won. Come on, you Spurs. Jack, we'll let you in on this, and then we'll let Dermo in on it as well. Great day for us in terms of results yesterday, right? It's time for us to capitalize on it.
I've said before, Dark Sun G, I do enjoy, and I will never get sick of feasting on Man United's bones whenever they find some sort of big chaotic sort of performance and defeat. I really enjoyed it. Recently, too, I've actually been sort of secretly impressed by Bournemouth. I think Iraola has actually turned things around very all of a sudden, kind of when he needed to. Dominic Solanke, I've annoyed people like Dave with. I actually think is a pretty good striker.
Yeah.
Maybe even on a bit of a turnaround, dare I say, almost enough of a turnaround that I kind of thought about him as a potential candidate for the summer if we're looking for number 9s of that sort of type of mold and that sort of type of play style and physical build and everything. And if he's quite cheap, I think it sort of makes sense for Tottenham Hotspur, actually. But Man United losing. Villa, I sort of had the sneaky suspicion if they just played the same way that they did against Man City, would get that win. I think that they played so well in that game against Man City that if they played just half as well against Arsenal, I think there was going to be some sort of result there for them. But Man United, I mean, I like Bournemouth, but I did not see 3-0. Should have been 4-0. It should have been 4-0, and I did not see that coming. I knew Bournemouth were going to give them a good game, but honestly, Darkson G, the bones of Man United are absolutely delicious from last night. They really are, and I look forward to talk sport and plenty of meltdowns from the fan base, and hopefully we can pick up 3 points so that we can just, stay away from the tabloids like Man United haven't.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. I wonder, will Ten Hag get sacked over the next few days? Maybe after Champions League game midweek. You never know. Be interesting times ahead there. Dermo, Arteta crying again yesterday. Great to see, right?
Yeah. Has anyone seen Arsenal and Man United as they lose again? I couldn't help. I've been doing it all day yesterday. I had to take the Jason. Jack knows what I mean. I had to take the Jason Cundy playbook out. And that. Look, I watched that Man United game yesterday. They were woeful. I've never seen a team play with such intensity in one match and not turn up for a match against Bournemouth. Look, Villa always going to win at home. Villa have had a good home record this season. Arsenal, even against Luton, did not take their chances. They don't look a team that's gelled, if you know what I mean. United look like a team of individuals. We've got something at Tottenham. We've got a team that's gelling. We've got a manager. We're all moving in the right direction. Them players do not want to play for Ten Hag. And it's very much, I've always said it, Man United is where we were 2 or 3 seasons ago. If you look at United, you look at the squad, look at the manager, you look at the fans, you look at the board, everyone is disconnected. And Arsenal as well, look, they won't win the league this year. If Tony Adams has come out and said Arteta will not win a league with Arsenal, that's saying something. As much as I hate Arsenal, I admire Tony Adams for what he had to go through, his personal battles he had to go through. So that's an inspiration in one way. I've read his book as well. It's a very good book. But United are in trouble. United are in trouble. They're in big trouble on and off the field. And I bet you Ferguson is tearing his fucking hair out. Look, United are their own worst enemy. They won't sort it out. At least at Tottenham, we tried to sort it out, and we're on the path now of going in the right direction. And that will benefit us in a couple of years' time. United's going to take another 4 or 5 years for them to get back to where they were under Ferguson because they're so badly run. That's the problem.
To be honest with you, I'm actually glad they're going through this. For years, the fans were walking around giving it the big in. We're the Red Devils and all this crack. Now you're the Red Floppies. Enjoy that. That's what I say. But big up, Dark Song G. Good to see you in the building, sir. We also have 7SC. This is wearing my Matters top today. Come on, you Spurs. Look, you have to channel the spirit, right? Hopefully that someone could take on that Madison role today and take the game to the opposition. We badly missing my man.
Put that Matters top on Lo Celso, and maybe he'll play 2 times as well as 7. And we really need him back. And he's had some good interviews as well since he's been gone too, with, I believe, Ben Foster, as well as has had some other sort of quotes and interviews. So Madison, you can tell that he's desperate to come back. He's even sort of come off as a bit frustrated, I think, with the fact that it's gone a bit slowly, I guess, in his eyes, his own recovery. So hope to have him back as soon as possible.
Big up, 7SC. Good to see you in the building. Hopefully we get the win today, my man. But look, we're going to speed it up because I got a lot of talking points today, actually, a lot of talking points. So hopefully you guys out there do enjoy it and do engage in them with us. We have Robert Howe all the way from Kilkenny. Good to see you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. We also have Steve D, my man. Great to see you in the building. Hopefully you're keeping well as well. We also have Ken T. Why don't you win? When you don't win in 5 games, maybe it's time to give the youngsters a run out. Love your streams. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, look, I've been campaigning it for quite some time. Even back under Judge Mourinho, I was saying, if these guys don't want to do it, bring up a kid. You'll either see their attitudes change or them be that embarrassed they'll want to leave the football club. Either way, it's a win-win from Tottenham. Couldn't agree more, Kenty. Darius Vasilakis, big up David, Jack, Dermatron, and everyone in the chat. Must win tonight, 3-2. Come on, you Spurs. Great to see you in the building, my man. You also have Defoe. Defoe's big toe. Come on, you Spurs. Peter Fraser, Ange can do it. Patience, the world will come round. To Andrew's perspective, absolutely spot on. Paul, 123, good to see you in the building. Rayman, great to see you. We also have the Mobile Gamer, great to see you in the building as well. Joff, good to see you in, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. J-Mac as well, great to see you in. Hopefully you're keeping well. Faz Radfar, good to see you in as well. Big up my favorite channel, my plea to all Spurs fans. Please don't get blinkered by short-term results. Good or bad, get behind Ange with club's backing. Ange will deliver in the long run, no question. Very well said, my man. I wish I could say it that eloquently. Dragging these nuts says we just need Van de Ven back and someone who can score, and we'll be okay. Tried to highlight the goal scoring problem in the summer, my man. Just hopefully now we get it done in January, because it is coming back to bite us in the ass. Dark Song G says, once we get Madison and Van de Ven and Solo back, we will get on a run. Look, 100%. 100%. But the problem is we keep going through this, that we only sort of really have that first 11. We need to fill that out, because every season's going to be the same. They're not reducing the amount of games. If anything, they're upping them with international football and everything else. So we're going to keep seeing injuries. We're going to keep getting suspensions, just a natural part of football. And it is now up to the club to be able to get a squad underneath a manager that's able to go out and compete. Because not even just for a manager, but for me, I'm sick of seeing the same old individuals come back into the team and seeing the same old shit. I've had enough of it, 3, 4, 5 years of this, some cases 10 years of it now. I've had enough with some of these guys. Just get them gone. They ain't good enough. When are we just going to accept them for what they are at face value? Yes, we all want to wish them to be something they're not. Great, but they ain't. And in order for this shit to stop happening, we just need to get them gone now, Dark Song G. But I absolutely agree with you, my man. Once these guys come back, the Premier League and all them pundits going to eat their words. Mark my words on that, my man. Adrian Chia, good to see you in the building, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. Says big up, lads. Toon's in a sticky situation between injuries versus AC Milan game, whereas we can simply go all out, double down by making Son my FPL captain. Now, just before we get Jack and Dermatron in on this one, I'm just going to give everybody a rundown of everything they need to know ahead of today's game. So give me 1 second, my man, and I'll just come back to that. So, of course, the game is being played at the greatest stadium in the world, and it's only the greatest because the fans make it the greatest. That is the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Kickoff is at 4:30 p.m., so the players should be more than alert. Going into the referee and the VAR room, we have Chris Kavanagh. Hopefully he does okay. Good job today. I don't want to be sitting here after the game moaning about referees and VAR. Just do your job. Don't try and be anything you're not. And don't be sitting there grabbing camera time to try and wave hello to your wife and kids at home. Embarrassment. Then we go on to VAR room. It's Peter Banks. Hopefully we don't have to change the B to a W. You all know what that spells. Hopefully he just does his right job. And then if you want to watch the game today in UK and Ireland, it is on Sky Sports. In the USA, it's on NBC. Do you know what, actually? I have a bone to pick with this, because every week I go to type in, where is the game being played in the USA? And they give me loads of different things. You guys have so much things to watch football over there. It's unbelievable. But it does make it hard for me to pinpoint.
We love our options. We like to supersize things. We like to make things big. We like to make things ridiculous over here. We got to have 40 options of different sodas, 40 different sizes. 40,
I like it.
40 different Oreo flavors. It's how it is. It's how it is.
I like it. It's just hard to pinpoint exactly what one it's on, because everyone that does something on it, they just put down the whole list. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's the land of the choice. That's what America should be called, the land of the choice.
It's brilliant. Honestly, if I ever lived over there, I think I'd eat myself to death. To be brutally
you'd be
honest.
In heaven. You'd be in heaven if you lived in America, David. But you and me both would be in heaven. We'd be like,
for about 6 months until I'm 6 feet down under, because I wouldn't be able to stop eating. Then in Australia, the game is in Australia, the game is on Optus Sports, and in Canada, it is on Football TV as well. Then moving on to the injury list. yeah, this one was a hard one to do. You know, I nearly had to make 2 graphics for this. Before Tottenham, Van de Ven out with the hamstring, Madison out with his ankle, Bentancur out with the ligament damage as well to his ankle, Solomon trying to return from the meniscus injury, Perisic out with the ACL, Session still out with a hamstring, Shock might see him next Christmas, White Man out with his ankle, and Dyer out with his groin. For Newcastle, Tonali, of course, suspended, Pope out with his shoulder, Willock out with the Achilles, Butman out with the knee, Wilson out with the hamstring, Barnes out with his foot, Burns out with his back, Target out with the hamstring, and Murphy out with the shoulder. There's also Elliot Anderson out with something as well. There's 1 or 2 others. And then the likes of Lascelles, I think Longstaff, and there's one more player, Murphy, are, they were going to get late fitness tests ahead of today. So both teams with a lot of injuries, as you can see. But Jack, we'll get back to Adrian Chia's super chat. He reckons Toon is in a sticky situation with injury and the AC Milan game this week, which is do or die for them, whereas we can simply go all out. What do you make on that? I think Dermot also referenced that in his cam yesterday, but we'll start with you on it, Jacko.
Someone mentioned it to you and I that perhaps Newcastle might sort of have one eye on sort of this Champions League game that they do need to win, and they might sacrifice or just go into this game with not really the exact sort of intensity needed, or they might just sort of have, one eye on sort of a game ahead, perhaps sort of plan out maybe with the squad or the starting lineup to not risk too many players for that game. I'd be surprised if they took that sort of approach, just because I think it's the Premier League and I think you need points. Every weekend is always a tough fixture and there's not really any easy games anymore in the Premier League. So I'd be a little surprised, especially going away from home, not playing at home for Newcastle, that they would have that sort of type of approach to this game. And they are in a sticky situation with injuries. I look at it there and it is it's daunting as well as it is for us, Adrian Chia. In the case of Tonali, I don't really have much sympathy for it. When they kind of list that as one of the injuries, I'm sort of like, well, he kind of did that to himself. So I don't know how much you can really sympathize. But yeah, I think it is a sticky situation for them. I would be surprised though, if they really didn't go all out, like how we should be going all out for this game. I expect that they want to have 3 points too. But Sonny, I hope he stands up today, my man. We need him, and especially for our FPL teams, I think we all need him. I think we all have Sonny at least captain or vice captain in some sort of way, so we would all definitely love that.
For sure. Dermotron, do you think that the game midweek will maybe make Newcastle take their eye maybe off this fixture a little, maybe look to conserve a little bit of energy?
I think they will. I think this is a massive game for them on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday, isn't it? No, Wednesday. Look, the Champions League, when it boils down to it, is an awful lot of money they can be making. And sadly, that's what boards look at now when it comes to the Champions League. If you get into the knockout round, there's more money to be made. So I think for Newcastle, they will want to qualify from that group. So they will take their eye off the ball. Look, Jack's right. There's no easy game in the Premier League. And they will be going out there to win today. Let's not mistake that. But I think players in the back of their mind thinking, we've got AC Milan coming up. I want to be part of that game. I want to be part of that atmosphere, of that occasion. So I'm going to try not to get injured or get booked or do something stupid that will take me out. With Newcastle having so many injuries, it really is a battle today of who's got the better squad. That's the battle today. Who's got the better squad and who wants it more? And I just think we will want it that bit more. I think with AC Milan coming up, if we're in the same boat, guys, I think we'll be saying the same thing. We will want to keep our key players for the crucial Champions League game. So I think this is where we have the edge today. But Newcastle's not going to be an easy pushover by any way, shape, or form. They have a good squad, and they're up there for a reason because they're a good side. So, look, we'll have to see what happens.
I think with the AC Milan game, I think Newcastle will try and get everything done in the first half, just like they did up when we played them up theirs, and maybe look to try and get the game beyond distance and maybe sit back and deserve a bit of energy towards the second half before that big game midweek. So for me, we're just going to have to be switched on. Don't give them anything in the first half. If the game goes in level at halftime, I actually think we'll go on and take that game. Adrian Chia, let me know your thoughts on what was said there, my man. Big yourself up. I really appreciate the support, lad. Big up the owl, lad. Hey, boys. I'm sorry I can't be positive today. I think we're in for a hiding. I hope I'm wrong. Come on, you Spurs. Look, it's definitely an absolute possibility that, I mean, look, we all remember the 6-1. What I would say is if the players had any sort of pride within themselves after losing to West Ham at home, and, you know, some of them remembering that 6-1 drubbing up at Newcastle last year, the embarrassment that they suffered, if they had any pride about them whatsoever, by hook or crook, they wouldn't allow us to lose today. So let's see what happens on that regard. But good to see you in the building. Hopefully you and the family are keeping well. You know, you're enjoying a nice lunch or late breakfast, whatever it may be. Big up that. Big up Spurs Live. Good to see you in the building. Also, George Caradas. Good to see you. Belfast. Good to see you in the house. Hollywood Hotspur. Great to see you. Lisa as well. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. We have Dark Sun G. Just Dave Hadji. Good to see you in. Hopefully you're keeping well. Dark Sun G. I'd rather lose unlucky, unlike Man United, who lose badly. Look, this is the thing as well. You know, I think with us, the difference between us and Man United is our performances have been there when we've lost. Theirs haven't. It's clear to see they ain't having that manager. And look, I don't think Ten Hag is the problem at United, far from it. But is he the right man to bring them forward either? I don't believe so. There's a lot of problems going on there. And long may it continue, like I said. But look, at least our performances have sort of been there. But I don't call the West Ham game unlucky either, to be brutally honest, my man. For me, I saw it coming. You know, I asked the question in the pre-match build-up about, you know, Spurs dropping points from losing positions. I said it at half-time, you know, with Jack on the watch-along that, you know, this is a precarious position to be in. You know, we do drop a lot of points from winning positions, and I fear we might rue not killing off the game. For me, I just think we made a rod off our own back. Jack, anything you want to say, Dark Sunji?
Yeah, I see what you mean, Dave, by the fact that it's not really unlucky if we're sort of doing it to ourselves in this sort of manner. And I do agree with that. But I also agree with Dark Sun G that the way that Man United have been playing has been so inconsistent that it sort of was a bit of a joke or a bit of a meme, I thought, when they kind of won Manager of the Month and won Harry Maguire Player of the Month and all that sort of thing. It was like, haven't they been playing terribly? And when you look at the results, maybe, you know, it's just sort of some sort of, you know, veil over what has been, you know, pretty bad sort of inconsistent performances so far. And they do lose in pretty dramatic fashion sometimes, Dark Sun G. And I'm happy that Spurs this season, while we have lost some games, I would say majority of the time we looked like the better team and we look like the team that should probably go on to win the game, but we haven't. And that's due to some mentality issues and things like that Davis brought up from earlier. But I'd much rather lose the way that we've been losing, Dark Sun G. Completely agree.
For sure. Big up Dark Sun G, brother. Really appreciate the support. Few more welcomes and I'll really have a lot to talk about, so I can't wait to get into it. Big up Jazz Fusion. Great to see you, Foggy Foam. Good to see you in the building, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well, along with Tot943 and Mary W as well. Great to see you, Mary W. I haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully things are keeping well. Dark Sun G also says Maguire equals Dyer under Jose Conte early days. They will only go downhill from here. Anthony is as useful as Coco, aka Lamella. Rashford is turning into Delhi. Love to see. Come on, you Spurs. Jack, do you agree with that, Sunji? I think, you know, I think some of the comparisons are okay.
I don't know which one is worse between Maguire and Dyer. I think Maguire almost looks good when everybody else is playing terribly, and then he sort of somehow can step up in his averageness and his mediocrity and somehow look like the better player of the Man United. And they've been playing so poorly recently, Dark Sun G, that he's actually been the highlight of more of their attacks. You know, it feels like, you know, anytime that Man United have a chance, it's because Harry Maguire is heading it down onto somebody. In the case of Anthony, I'm not sure which one is a bigger insult, whether Lamella should be insulted to be compared to him or whether Anthony should be insulted to be compared to Lamella, because I think both of them were pretty unconvincing Premier League players, and they both liked a nasty challenge and a nasty lash out as well. I think Anthony didn't do it with as much class as Lamella had. Lamella had a bit more kind of dark arts and sort of kind of housery behind it, whereas Anthony just looks like a petulant child most of the time whenever he starts lashing out, and looks like a spoiled child whenever he does it. And then in the case of Rashford, I just think he's lost his head, and I'm not sure if it's, you know, similar to something like Delhi, but I think he is just losing his head because of the manager. It's, I don't know, the players and the drama and everything at Man United, Dark Sun G. I really hope it never goes away because, like I said, I just sort of feast on it, and I find it to be exceptional entertainment throughout the past 3 or 4 years. And I really hope they never figure it out and they sort of exist in this sort of, I don't know, this purgatory of what we were kind of in last season of owner issues, players issues, manager issues, just all of the above. And it is quite fun to see. I'll be honest, but I'm not sure who should be more insulted with the comparison of Anthony and Lamella. Should it be Lamella that should be insulted, or should it be Anthony? One of them should be insulted.
One thing that really used to annoy me with Dyer, it's like, oh, he's in the England squad. He can't be that bad, as you're making out, Dave. Where is he now? Shows. Just goes to show. Just goes to show. I always said, once England are going through a current drought, centre halves. Once some start coming through, he's ousted, and now he's on the scrap heap. But look, he's got himself to blame. He chose to stay at. And this is the measure of a man, actually. Euro's at the end of the summer. If he's thinking logically, I'm out here to go and play first team football to make that squad. Didn't want to do it. Wanted to stay at Tottenham and collect the pay packet. What does that tell you? Wembley 1, good to see you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. Hello, everyone. Andrew's ability to raise team spirits to be tested to the max today. 1-1. My prediction. Dermotron, we'll head down to you with this one. Andrew's ability to raise team spirits will be tested to the max today. Do you agree with that?
I do. I think Ange will have his work cut out because these players, their confidence will be on the floor after the games we've been through, especially after West Ham. They have a point to prove today. He will make that very clear to them, to every one of them who's playing today. You have a point to prove. Go and prove them fans wrong, that you do care, that you can take your chances. And it's all about taking chances. We can create them. We can play brilliantly. But it's about taking your chances. We've got to take them today. And once we start taking them, Phillips, my co-host, said, we're due to give somebody a drop-in. I agree in that. We're going to give somebody a drop-in one day. We will, once it all clicks, we will give them a drop-in. It's about taking our chances. So, and the players have got to listen to Ange, listen to his message, listen to what he says before the game, and get really pumped up and show you care. Show that you want to go out there and play for Ange, and also take your chances. That is the most important thing about it. We've got to take our chances today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, Wembley, what I would say as well, what I'd add to that is, if the players don't go out and put in a performance today, for me, it's not a manager. You know, I heard all under previous managers, oh, they can't do that in modern day football. Okay, well, Ange sits there and he wipes their backside, took all the blame and most of the press conferences. He's actually changed tack since the West Ham game. I will get into that. But he's took the blame all the way on the lead up to that. So we've gone the complete opposite, massaging ego, stuff like that. So if this doesn't work, then it's a dressing room problem. Nothing else, nothing to do with the manager. And I just hope people double down and back that manager, because if you do that, the players will then very, very quickly sort of get the idea and they'll change tack very, very quickly. But why would they right now when, regardless of what they do, we just sit here and give them undying love and everything else, you know? So, but I definitely agree with you, Wembley. One, good to see you in the building, sir, and hopefully you're keeping well. Good up, big up, Sweeney Todd. Great to see you. Big up, Phil P as well. Good to see you too. We have 2 channel member chats. We have Mary W member for 18 months. Absolute commendable service. Salute to you, Mary W. Love you guys. Get youngsters playing. Absolutely. Like I said, if players don't want to do the job, no problem. No better motivator to a player to be dropped for a younger kid. And then you've got 2 choices. You either use that as fuel and motivation to win your place back, or you cry like a baby. And if you cry like a baby, you ain't for Tottenham or where we want to go, and you're part of the reason why we don't win trophies. So good luck, and don't let the door hit you on the way out. That's the way I'd be, Mary W. You're absolutely spot on with that. You know, because too long now I've seen people coasting. I've had this conversation with Jack. You know, okay, Lascelles has played well the last 3 games, but what club would wait 4 years for that? That goes on to win trophies. They wouldn't, you know, and then we wonder why complacency is allowed to sort of creep in every single season, because there's no accountability ability. You could just come to Tottenham and have a great time, do what you want. Big up, Mary W. Jack. Buggy Foam member for 13 months. Ange's emphasis, our forward line is not doing enough.
Yeah, he's like Dave, you brought up just recently, right? He's not exactly covering himself, you know, all the time, or he's not taking the blame himself, you know, like he has before. Now he's starting to maybe, you know, point out that they sort of need to do their end of the bargain as well. Like, he can put them in these positions to score, and he can put them in these positions to create and make it easier on themselves, but they need to put the ball in the back of the net themselves. He can't do it for them. And I think that's what he basically I don't know. I think he was trying to say it in a nicer way, but I think that's probably what's kind of been in his head recently is that, listen, you guys have been praising and being really happy with this domination of play and these tactics and everything, but you got to also put the ball in the back of the net. Like, you have to be able to take advantage of this space. You have to take advantage of these these passages of play that we've been having that are so great. And if you're not taking advantage of them, we end up getting punished. I end up looking bad. And I think it's just, they need to sort of pay him a favor and, do him a service. Ange Postecoglou. Absolutely right, Foggy.
Big up, Foggy Foreman. Really appreciate the support, my man. 13 months. Salute to you as well, sir. Great to see you in the building, my man. Big up special occasions all the way from Cyprus. Hopefully you're keeping well. Good to see you in the building. Big up, Nick, as well. Good to see you. Like you, smashy. You tell him, Nick. You tell him, my man. Dark Sun G says it's only the Deadwood left. Lloris, Dyer, Davies, Giovanni Lo Celso. We are almost done with the painful rebuild. Unlike the fallen Red Devils with a lot of Deadwood overpaid signings, which is great for us. Do you know what, Dark Sun G? I do agree with that 100%. What frustrates me, and like me and you'll be back and forth for a number of years now on this, just how long it's taken. It's absolutely shocking. It's absolutely criminal how long it's taken. We have not been proactive about it as well. And, over the summer, all I kept on hearing is, you got to sell Harry Kane. No player's bigger than the club. And why are Dyer and Davies still here? Why were they allowed to dictate their own future at Tottenham Hotspur then? No players bigger than the club. The problem is the wrong players are bigger than the club. That's actually the real issue, in my opinion. Giovanni Lo Celso, look, is there a redemption arc on the sort of cards? I have my doubts. I did say against West Ham, that's where I'll judge him, against a team that plays low block. Let's test his creativity. Let's see how good he really is, because his responsibility is to unlock that door. He had an okay game, but he didn't really penetrate or do enough for me. But like I said, Lloris, no club would allow him to still be here. Dyer, with the performances that guy's put in over the last 10 years, no club would ever allow that to happen. That's going on to win trophies. Davies, the same thing. Wasn't at fault. West Ham not getting on his case. But since he's come into the side, we can't keep clean sheets. And then Giovanni Lo Celso, no club would wait 4 years. But
yeah, I'd throw Sessegnon in there
just
too.
Need to get done quicker, Jack.
Yeah.
I'd add Sessegnon to the list, by the way. I'd add Brandon Austin to the list. I'd add Whiteman to the list, because all three of those guys are taking up homegrown spots. That's part of the reason. And it's hard because the Deadwood, you forget about some of these guys because you sort of think to yourself, like, wow, these guys have never really played a game actually at Spurs, and yet they're just sort of taking up these homegrown spots. So I would say they're part of the Deadwood too, because that could be better given to somebody else, like a Donnelly. It could be better given to a Dorrington. It could be better given to somebody else who can operate that homegrown or fill that homegrown role and actually be serviceable to the squad. Whereas Whiteman, Austin, Sessegnon, Davies, these sort of guys, like maybe in comparison to Davies, we actually use, but some of these guys we don't even use, and they're taking up spots in the squad. So they're part of the Deadwood. And then I would say Man United, the one thing that they've done that luckily we haven't, like you said, they haven't really gotten rid of their Deadwood, but then they brought in some pretty bad, expensive signings on top of that Deadwood. Whereas luckily we brought in Van de Ven, Madison, Bentancur, all these lovely players that we know are the future and we know are good and aren't Deadwood. So there's something in that we've at least gotten the recruitment right recently, whereas Man United haven't.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on. Dharma, anything you want to say, Dak Sung Ji here?
Look, I agree with everything you lads have said. Lloris, Dyer, Davies, Lo Celso, you can go on and on with the Deadwood at the club, but we are getting there. We are getting there. You look at United, they're a long way from fixing their problems. And we can sort our problems now in January and next summer. So let's not lose faith. We're halfway through this rebuild. And these players, look, Lo Celso, as the only one I got the question mark over, if I can be honest. The rest of them, please just let them go. Lloris should have gone in the summer. Dyer should have gone in the summer. Davis should have gone in the summer. We're holding on to players. They're letting them dictate to us what they want to do instead of us dictating to them. You've got
I never done anything at Tottenham to allow that to happen either.
No, I mean, you've got 6 months left in your contract. You either, like we did with Doherty, you either let us pay up your contract and let you go in the free, or you're not playing. You're not in the first team squad, we'll leave you in the reserves. That's what we should have done. Then they quickly want to move then they will quickly take other clubs. But because they've been not legend, but they've been servants to the club, we've got to look after them. We've got to take care of them. Although they've got 6 months, bless them. Stick them in the reserves. Just put them in the reserves and see how quickly they want to stay around then.
Even better, just send them out to Mauritius for the next season. While we're playing this season, considering you're under contract, we pay your wages. Go to Mauritius and go on holidays. Just go anywhere. Actually, don't. No, Mauritius.
Loan them out to a club in Mauritius.
Don't deserve that.
North Pole.
Some shithole somewhere across the world. Just send them there and tell them they have to sit
Korea.
there for a year. Let's see how quickly they get their act together then. But that's on G as well. The more we rotate managers, the more every single time they're going to get a new opportunity, and the longer they're going to end up staying here as well. So that's why it's important just to sit here and be patient and back, get behind Ange Postecoglou. Big up Martin Knightsbridge, short-term pain for long-term gain. This is a tough job for Ange to do, but he is the right guy to do it. Instant success is not us. Never has been. Now, look, Martin, on this one, I completely agree with you. If we want what Liverpool have got, if we want what City have got, it takes time. Pep Guardiola didn't come in here and hit the Premier League ground running straight away, did he? No, it took him over 100 million on fullbacks and stuff like that to be able to go and win the Premier League. But the thing is, they gave him time and he built it. Jurgen Klopp, when he first came in, they know the squad wasn't fully Jurgen Klopp's and that certain parts of it were coming back to haunt him in games, but they gave him time, they let him build it. And, there's a reason why Arsenal challenged for the title the last 2 seasons, because they gave Arteta time and let him build it. There's a reason why these teams, especially like Liverpool and Arsenal of late, are getting over the line late on, because everyone's pulling in the right direction. Everyone's pulling in the one direction. At Tottenham, you've got players with ulterior motives. Some want to go out and win. Some couldn't care about winning. They're just here to play football and enjoying the life. And some just, because a manager's not playing them, it's like, I'll do everything I can to get you out the door. So I'll get another opportunity, a contract extension, and keep my 100 grand a week that I don't deserve either. So until a lot of these problems are sorted out, which we're slowly doing, by the way, we're going to keep seeing the same shit. But now's the test. I remember in the summer, everyone said to me, or back at the end of last season, all I care about, all I want to see is good football. I says, nope. When we start losing games, you will start going for Ange Postecoglou. I was assured that will not happen. All I see now, we have to ask questions of Ange. Ange this, Ange that. Should he be more pragmatic? No one liked the pragmatic last year. Point is, we're at the point now, we're being tested. Are we going to stick by the manager and let him try and build something here? Or are we going to go down the same path? New manager, new backroom staff, new assistant, giving everyone an opportunity. Why not roll Ndombele back from Galatasaray, roll him out there again for another opportunity? I'm absolutely fed up with it, my man. And until all this shit stops, we show a bit of patience behind the manager and let him build it. Realize that he's never going to get everything done off one transfer window. We're going to keep going through the same cycle. You're absolutely spot on. And look, I'm one of them. I find it hypocritical to ask Spurs fans for patience, because we've been so patient. And we're at the point now where we have no patience because we just want trophy right now. Right now, that's it. And I understand that. But I hate to say it, if we really do want to try on and go and do something, the proof was there with Pochettino, 5.5 years. We let him build it. He nearly took us to the promised land in the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League. If we want to get back to that time, you've got to give Ange Postecoglou an opportunity here and stop just going on his back straight away. Big up Future Music. Good to see you in the building. And by the way, Martin, great to see that Taylor's made a full recovery. Dark Zone G-Jack says we haven't had Kavanagh as our ref since Norwich. Probably a good sign. He has no bias, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe so. And last time we played Norwich away, was that the Champions League qualifying game, if I'm not mistaken?
The one where he smashed them. Bentancur scored, didn't he?
Yeah, it could have been the game where we qualified for Champions League. And obviously, we won by a lot of goals. I don't remember the referee playing any sort of part in that game, Dark Sun G. So, yeah, that'd be great to have him. We had great days with him in charge. Personally, bit more of a Simon Hooper fan myself. I'd love to have him, like I said, for every single game. But Kavanagh will do. It sounds like, there's not much dirt and if anybody could find dirt on a referee, it would be you, Dark Sun G. And if you can't find much on him in recent times, I'm happy with that. But like I said, if I were picky, I prefer Simon Hooper.
I did find some stats. He's been involved in a few sort of big decisions in Newcastle games. So let's wait and see what side we fall on in them decisions, and then I'll make my mind up. He also says, Dermotron, Newcastle only forward option is Isaac, Gordon, and Almiron.
Yeah, they're in the same state we are in. So, look, it's going to be really difficult for Newcastle. Look, Isaac's not a bad player. Gordon is not a bad player. They're not bad players. But
he could play for Ireland, Gordon.
He could do. He should do. And he will do. Because I'm
will.
going to go up there and drag them over there. You're playing for Ireland. That's it. No questions asked. Forget about England. They're going nowhere. You want to join the immersion nation that is Ireland. We're going to be the next best thing in 20 years' time. So be part of the massive rebuild we're doing there. Still can't even get a manager. Apparently Big Sam wants the job. Lord help us. I do you know what? It wouldn't be a bad show, actually, to be fair. I wouldn't be against it, actually. Look, we just got to be on the ball today. Whoever Newcastle pick as the forwards, we've got to be on the ball today. We've got to be defensively spot on. Because you give these three players any chance, they will punish you. It's the Premier League. If you don't take your chances, you don't defend well, playing teams will punish you. So we've got to defend well today. It's so important. We've got to give these players no chances whatsoever.
I really like Isaac Darksng, but I would like Romero to absolutely plant one on him. And that's just because, I think that would set the tone early, like what you need to intimidate him a bit. But also the way he's still celebrated that one goal, like, when they went 4-1 up or 5-1 up, really does still kind of rub me off the wrong way. Actually, one of those goal celebrations that Isaac had against us. And I don't blame him. We weren't trying, but he sort of had this celebration like, geez, are these guys even trying, type of thing. And still to this day, like, I get really angered by that celebration whenever I see it. So if we can have an opportunity for Romero, if you could knock him into the stands, that would be nice. Maybe a bit of sort of Graham Roberts style, Dave Mackay style, send him into the stands, please.
It'd be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Big up, Darksng. Look, Gordon, what I would say is he's a very hungry dog right now. An old saying goes, and I was going to use this for Tottenham today, a hungry dog runs faster. And at the end of the day, Gordon's hungry. He wants to make that European spot. Games like this, he steps up in the big games and has done for Newcastle this season. I worry about him a little bit. Isaac, I actually really, really like Isaac, to be honest. I think he's a very good striker. Almiron, he's growing on me. He's growing on me, Darksng. Davey Howes, good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. We also have Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs. Big up, Kate and Jim Bob. Hopefully you two are keeping well, and the son. Big up, three top guys, Dave, Jack, and Dermotron. Good to see you in the building, Kate. Hopefully you are keeping well. Couple more chats, and then we are going to crack on. I got a lot to talk about. Jim is also in here. Jim, just a guy who loves Spurs, member for 5 months. Salute to you, Jimbo. He says, hope you're well, Jack, Dave, and Dermo. Yeah, look, we're keeping as well as can be when you're on a bit of a losing streak, I suppose, Jimbo. Trying to keep as well as can be. But look, of course, a Tottenham win, I think, would lift everybody's mood and put a smile on our faces.
You two can talk for yourself. You know full well I live in Delusionville. So I've been told many times. I think we're going to win every game. Dave, just get aboard. Come up and live with me. We can beat anyone. We're Tottenham. We're the fighting cockerel. We will rise. We will conquer. We will get there.
Do you know what?
Come on, Ange.
As much as I love embracing a bit of delusion, and my God, I do partake in it a bit. I do like that bit of reality too. So I can't move up there with you, my man. I can't. But
you've got a house up there next to me. Be honest. You do have a house next to me up there, but you live there part-time.
Nowhere near it, lad. Nowhere near it. Big up, Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs, becoming a YouTube member. Hopefully you're keeping well. And hopefully you enjoy all the stuff that we do put up. Me and Jack, I've noticed actually the members content that we put up before games and stuff, it's getting longer because we're losing. It's the therapy. It's the therapy for us.
Pick up Jimbo.
Big up, Kate and Jimbo. Good to see you. And by the way, Kate, I think is Mickey Hazard has a few very, very nice photos on that he's looking to sell on and stuff like that of players and stuff like that. So, Kate's the woman to speak to if any of you are interested in that. Darksng says, to be honest, Bowen goal was lucky for them. So 1 point seemed fair, but we lost points against Hammers. So I feel we can win today as long as luck is with us. It's the Bravkin goal today, not Pope. We need to keep shooting. On that, Darksng, do you know what? I get there was a lot of luck involved in the Bowen goal with the double deflection. And as much as I love Romero, it was a simple long ball to Jared Bowen. and he bullied Romero and was allowed to take it down and actually get that attack going. I think Romero, he's got to be stronger there. And then, look, whatever happens from there on out, he sort of was allowed to sort of just go at us unchallenged. But it did start with bad defending. I get the rebound and everything else. There's an element of luck to it. But realistically, with the amount of possession we had, we should have been out of sight that even when that did happen, or if it was going to happen, it wouldn't affect the result whatsoever because we were that dominant in terms of in possession. We just didn't create enough. But I do hear what you're saying. Obviously, double deflection and stuff like that. There is an element of luck to it. But I'm just more so looking at it a different way where it's like, if we just done our job, we wouldn't have left it to fate, if you get what I mean, my man. But look, like I said, the performances have been there. It's not like the performances haven't been there. We just haven't been able to get over the line. It's more of a mentality issue, more than anything, that when the pressure's on, and as much as we hate Antonio, or well, not me, I don't hate him, but as much as many Spurs fans hate Antonio Conte, there is merit in what he said. As much as Spurs fans wanted to sell Harry Kane, there is merit in what he said when he left, saying that at Tottenham, winning isn't the be-all and end-all. It's okay to lose a few games on the bounce, As much as we don't like hearing them words, people are leaving this club trying to tell us what's going on behind the scenes, trying to tell us what the problems are. But as soon as we hear him, we just go, oh, no, he's an idiot. We don't want to listen to him, blah, blah. He doesn't care about Tottenham, everything else. But we have to take on board what they're saying. They're not saying it for any other ulterior motive to get back at Tottenham Hotspur or anything like that, They're saying it because they obviously had their time in and around the club. They care about the fans, and they're just trying to let you know what's going on, And I'm sure these managers, when they see some of these players getting the backing and the manager getting the criticism, they're like, hang on here, if only you were inside the club, you'd see exactly what the problem is. Look, as far as the Bravkin goals, I actually like the Bravka. I think he was a good keeper. But, how ready to go is he is the question, Dark Sun G. Pop a few shots off early. Make sure you hit them towards the corner. Let's see how quick he is getting down, my man. Pope being out is absolutely huge. He always has a worldie against us, Pope. Always. So him being out is absolutely huge, Dark Sun G. Jack, anything you want to say?
Yeah, he just thinks that luck will be with us this time, I think, Dave, since the deflections and the bounces that West Ham got in the last fixture. Maybe thinks that. I think Dark Sun G is sort of saying, I guess it will be a 3-1 this time, where everyone went for a 3-1 prediction last time, Dark Sun G. Perhaps it will actually roll over to this game, and this will be the game that we end up getting the 3-1 here. I see what you mean, though, by sort of the unlucky goals. But yeah, I can also see where Dave is coming from, that a lot of it was still preventable, and you sort of make your own luck in a game. And I think West Ham sort of did that by actually staying in the game and sort of keeping within punching distance, and then they punched us. But let's hope that we just carry over all those 3-1 predictions that we had in the West Ham game into this Newcastle one. And yeah, green light for all the players to shoot, especially Sonny. Dark Sun G would love to see a curler from him, big screamer from outside the box. Please, green light.
Big up Dark Sun G, my man. Really do appreciate support. And look, like I said, hopefully we can just get over the line and get that victory, my man. And then we also have Moon Lover going 1-0 up means nothing. Need that second quickly. Absolutely spot on. Couldn't agree more on this just quickly. For me, I blame Basuma mostly for it because he's the tempo setter in the team. And when you look, when we go 1-0 up, he starts dicking about on the football. Starts doing these 5-yard passes that mean absolutely jack shit, mean absolutely nothing. You're not drawing anybody out. You're not doing anything to affect the game, and you're not trying to create chances. It's 5 yards. Give it to you. I'll take it back. Thanks, buddy. Slap on the ass. Go to the next guy. 1-2 again. All in front of an opposition. What good is that? Harry Winks used to do that. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. Just go and affect the game. I think we'll all agree that assuming that was at the start of the season, getting on the ball, driving at players, taking them out of the game, making little dazzling runs into the box. Where's that gone? Where is it gone? It's not there. He's just sitting back, acting the dick on the football. I'm not being smart, but I'm, put 22 stone. I'm not 22 stone, but, put me out there. I'd be able to do that. Honestly, I'd be able to do that unchallenged. It's not good enough. Not good enough, Moon Lover. Absolutely spot on, my man. And then this from Dark Sun G, and then we're going to crack on with lots of talking points. He says, look at Villa, good rebuild with Emery, and they're winning. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. And that's what we need to do. Just back a manager and go with his idea and go with his philosophy. It's clear that other people in and around the club just don't know best. You know, they're making a right pickle of it. We've gone from a Champions League final down to not even qualifying for Europe. So, you know, they have to give it to someone that knows what they're doing and let them take their reins. Dark Sungji, absolutely spot on. But Emery's done a fantastic job at Aston Villa. But look, he was a good manager. You know, he's won. The time he's had at Sevilla was absolutely unbelievable, and stuff like that. The amount of Europa Leagues he's won and stuff like that as well. He's definitely a shrewd manager and knows what he's doing. But look, I'd also argue Ange does. Ange has a history of winning trophies. May not be at clubs that people think are of high regard, but he's a history of winning trophies. You know, if he can get bang average players from the Japanese league or the Australian league to play his way and go and win trophies, well, then how good are some of these players that we've got at Tottenham Hotspur if they can't play that way? But big up, Dark Sungji, my man. Really do appreciate the support. Dermotron, I believe you have a bit of news.
Yeah, I have a little bit of breaking news that was given to me this morning. South Korean manager Jurgen Klinsmann confirms that Son will not be available for Tottenham Hotspur from January the 2nd to potentially February the 10th, as he will be competing in the Asian Cup with South Korea. So it's even more important that we get a striker in January. We get a forward line in January. Forward player in January. It's now imperative. That has to be, that and the centre back has to be the number one and number two targets for us in January. But that is the latest I am getting.
Jeez, I swear to God, I'm having deja vu here. I wonder where I've heard that before, needing a striker and a centre back. You know, we seem to be talking about it all the time. Absolute madness. But yeah, look, you know, that's why it is important. You're dead right. You know, he's going to be at the Asian Games. There is a bit of a winter break between January as well. So maybe, hopefully, some of that will be taken up with his disappearance over to Asia. Also, with the centre midfielders as well, going to AFCON. So we're going to be even shorter. So either players need to get their ass back from injury, or we need to hit that market. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Jack, or no, we'll start with you, Dermot. We'll start with you, my man. Dermo, what sort of reaction are you expecting to see from the players today after the humiliating defeat to West Ham?
I want to see players that will come out and give more than they gave in that second half against West Ham. I want to see them put in a full 90 minutes game, not a 45-minute game, a 90-minute game. I want to see players that feel passionate about the shirt, passionate for the fans, prove that they are behind Ange, to show us that they're taking what Ange is saying into their heads and putting it out onto the football field. I want to see a Tottenham that will take their chances. That will be tight at the back, but take their chances and put Newcastle to the sword. And I want to see it. I want to see players that come in today that want to fight for each other, that will not give up, that will play, never give up for 90 minutes. We haven't had a full 90 minutes performance out of this squad for a long time. I want to see a 90 minutes performance today from start to finish. And I want to see players that do come in, want them to show Ange, I deserve to be in the starting lineup. I deserve to get ahead of these players. So I want to, I know it's quite a long list, but I want to see, probably in 3 words, desire, proper attitude, and never give up for the full 90 minutes. That's what I want to see, if I put it into 3 words.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Couldn't agree more. I want to see pride and passion, you know, and actually conviction and belief in something that they're actually doing for once, rather than just sort of going with the flow. But Jack, where are you at with it? Can you see sort of Spurs bouncing back against Newcastle tonight? You know, considering we owe them a 6-1 after the dismantling they gave us at their place.
Yeah, I really hope that that's on their mind. At least some of those players that were a part of that performance, that in a way they do owe us one from actually a long time ago, from the time under Antonio Conte. Yes, it was under a different manager, or actually it was under Stellini, right? But yes, it was under a different manager, but I think they should still kind of think about that and sort of what we had to go through as fans on that day, even you and I on the watch long and everything. So they do actually owe us still from that performance. And so be nice if some of those players do sort of remember that, and remember that they, you know, not only for the pressure that they're under right now, under Ange and under recent form, but also from that last game. I don't have as much of a beautiful grocery list of, you know, words and everything that you guys have of, you know, what I'm expecting from this game. But I do just want Spurs to at least finish their dinner today. I'm not expecting us to completely dominate Newcastle like how we did against West Ham. I think we will trade some blows. I think there will be some periods where Newcastle do look good and they do cause us some trouble and, bring pressure to us. But I just want us to finish our dinner today. It's painful to see us create some of the most scintillating play, some of the most scintillating passages, and just get nothing from it. I'd rather almost sit back then for 90 minutes and, just nab a goal if that's how we're going to end up playing. It's torture, Dave. It's like someone dangling, a beautiful piece of bacon or, steak, like right in front of your eyes. And, you just never get to actually eat it. You get to admire it. You get to look at it, and you get to sort of, look at all the juices and all just the beauty of it, but you never get to actually eat it. So I'd just like to eat something, Dave. I want to see us finish our dinner today. That's all I want. I don't have as good of a beautiful grocery store list of words and phrases that you and Dermot have ahead of this game. I wish I did, but I just want us to finish our dinner.
Look, I absolutely couldn't agree more, Jack. Look, like I said, hungry dogs run faster, but also they fight harder. They're more determined to be successful. So I actually want to see the team hungry today. I want to see them hungry to put it right. I don't want to go out there and see them nervous and just scrape over the line. It means absolutely fuck all, because it gives me no confidence going into the next game. I want to see them go out there and do something with conviction and belief today, and a hunger and desire about them, and actually go out there and look like you mean it. I want to see a good, solid performance from players today. Really let us down, and it's okay to demand more from these players. It's okay to put the blame at the door after they let you down, and it's up to them now to respond. We do our job week in, week out. That stadium's packed. They get the best away fans in the league. You have the best fans all over the world getting up at all hours, putting in so much time and effort, binning stuff off to be able to sit there and watch Spurs games and everything else. They fucking owe us today, and they better stand up with a bit of pride and deliver. But look, moving on. I will start with you on this one, Jacko. Spurs have dropped the league high 60. I need to have a drink. Getting hiccups. Give me one moment. Spurs have dropped the league high 16 points from winning positions this season, with 14 of those coming since the start of November. It's the same period we fell off under Conte. It's the same period we dropped out of the title race under Jose. It's the same period where we sacked Nuno and Pochettino. Why do we continuously and constantly fall off around this time of the year? It's the same patterns, same cycle, last 4 to 5 years.
I don't know. I wish I did. It could be something to do with the dust starting to settle, right? Pressure in the beginning, you do have to sort of deliver. You want to get off on the right track, show that there could be a sense of a good season and everything. And Spurs have done that under any manager. Like, it's been Nuno, it's been Conte, it's been Jose. We've had great starts, but we just don't seem to be able to continue it when we reach this November and December period. And I don't know a good reason for it, other than clearly there's some sort of mentality issue. And it's come through with newer players. It's not even just older players. It's newer players have sadly been kind of guilty of it as well, where they just have their own performances drop off. The team performances aren't there. There's not that consistency. There's lack of backbone in sort of these periods and months. So I don't know, but it's concerning to see it happen under multiple managers. It just seems to be the case that maybe we just sort of switch off, or kind of maybe think that the dust has sort of settled a little bit, and then they can kind of maybe take the pressure a bit off themselves. And I guess with that, then, we start to see the performances start to drop. But I don't know, really. It's a $1 million question to see it happen under so many different managers. It really is. But maybe it's just the fact that the dust starts to settle around this time period of sort of the season. And so maybe that's really the reason. But Dermotron, or what do you think?
I think it's a mentality thing. I think it's a mentality that you have to be so consistent in the Premier League to win a Premier League or win any sort of competition you're in. And we just get so far and we hit a brick wall and we think, oh, we've done enough. We've done enough. And we'll rest on our laurels now, and then we'll go again. Where you see all the top teams, they just keep banging out the results. Even when they're playing bad, they nick a point or they get a lucky win. We can't seem to do that. And I think you're right, Jack, when you said it is the players, it's the culture that's within the club. It will do. That will do. And we've got to get that attitude out of, we never stop. We have to keep playing the same intensity every game. This is how winning is done. This is how you win leagues. This is how you win trophies or Champions Leagues. And I feel that at Tottenham, we go through this every season under every manager. And it's like, oh, we get to the heights of the top of the league, or we get to the top four and we think, oh, we're there now. We just need to just do enough to stay there. Where you look at the great teams that won leagues in the past, you look at Liverpool teams in the 80s, Nottingham Forest teams in the late 70s, 80s, the Man United side on the Fergie. You look at even, I hate to say it, the Arsenal sides on the Wenger.
Why did you have to say that?
Well,
why did you have to bring them into it?
Well, it's the same point. They had the mentality of they never let the standards drop because they knew they had to keep it up. And as I said, even playing badly, they picked up points. And this is where we just think we've done enough. We've got to top 4. We just need to considerate, if you get my thing as the word, to our position, where these other teams that have been successful have said, right, we're going to step up another gear. These players don't want to step up another gear. They just think they want to keep, we've done enough. And I just think that's where the problem is, mentality. It's up here.
Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, look, personally, I think the problem's absolutely twofold. I think, first of all, we make the problems ourselves in the summer, right? Because we constantly have a new manager and there's only so many players you can bring in the summer for that manager. Same old individuals keep sort of surviving and everyone falls into the trap of, well, he kept them around. He must trust them. He must want them. And then all of a sudden we go through a sticky period. You're looking at these guys to dig you out where they have not done before. And that's, again, because of squad depth. We do not have the squad depth at this club to be able to handle the intensity and the rate that the fixtures come calling. You've got Premier League, you've got Carabao Cup, you've got, Nations League and qualifier fixtures on international duty. So your players are flying everywhere, this, that, and the other. So squad depth is an absolute massive issue at this football club, and one that predates most managers coming in here. Second one is mentality. Whether people like to admit it or not, we got off to a very identical start underneath Antonio Conte last season, Jack. The pre-match build-up I wasn't here for from his sister's birthday. I actually put in a question about that because it was absolutely identical. But again, once that period faded, under Ange, now we've gone through this sort of streak. And for me, I also think it's mentality and probably ego a little bit as well, because the Spurs then start getting a lot of praise. The questions start coming about, can Spurs challenge for the title? What can Spurs do this year? Is it going to be different this time? Players are playing wonderful. And then all of a sudden, all that scrutiny, minute scrutiny on Tottenham Hotspur, because it's not there at the start of the season until we go on these streaks. It's all on City, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, up until the point where we go 10, 11 games unbeaten. All of a sudden, everyone's then focusing on Tottenham, and they cannot handle it. They cannot handle it. And no wonder why. When you've still got players around in that dressing room that haven't been able to handle it before, when they start acting nervous and everything else, it's going to rub off on you eventually. If you sit with someone that's just constantly nervous about every single thing, eventually it's going to rub off on you and you're going to then start becoming nervous and stuff like that. So for me, I think the problem's twofold. We've tried changing managers, assistant managers, backroom staff, because players were complaining about training. Retrospectively, all that's bollocks. They ain't the problem. The problem is we didn't do enough in the summer. Look, my biggest issue right now is if a big fat guy from Ireland can sit there in the summer and say, there'll come a point we'll have to rely on Davies, Dyer, people like that. They'll come back and cost us. Results will dip. I'm sorry. What are the analytics people in the club doing? What are all the other people in the club doing that are being paid thousands of pounds every single year to get ahead of these issues, to sort these problems out? What are they doing? It's nowhere near good enough. When we make a rod off our own back in the summer transfer window, I'm one of them. I actually believe we had a good summer transfer window. But I highlighted selling Harry Kane was going to cause you problems. So, not paying out Dyer his contract and fuck him off and bring someone else in was going to cause you problems. And that's exactly where we're at right now. The things we didn't do in the summer, which always seems to be the case, comes back and haunt us. So there's a couple of problems.
No, it's just I commend you for being able to come up with more than one reason. I felt like I could only come up with really one, if barely half a reason. And so to come up with more than one, I commend you for that, because I think it is more than one reason. And but they could all be right. Each reason, connect to each other. But it is, for me, it's confusing to see it happen under so many different managers, because then it just shows that it's not obviously one manager or another. It's clearly something bigger. It's something, connected to, that's been happening over years. So credit to you.
Oh, look, Jack, this shit keeps me awake at night, you know. It really does. I hate losing. Anyone that knows me, I bloody hate losing.
Or when November and December come, it seems like your sleep schedule gets altered when November and December comes.
It gets all messed up for sure. Dark Song G says 2 clubs affected by the Audi Cup, Wolves and us. Hope we survive. Ah, look, man. Look. We'll survive if we stick with Ange and sort of don't put the pressure on him or don't put the scrutiny completely on him until we can get players back. You know, I think we'll survive. Let's wait and see what happens there. Dark Song G. What else does he say? He also says
both Asia Cup and African Cup. When you think about it,
right? Asian Cup. Sorry, that's what he means.
Asian Cup and African Cup of Nations. I think they both will be trouble for us. And in Wolves' case, I guess Wang Hee-chan would be leaving. I'm not sure about any other Asian players they might have or any African players, but with us, Dark Sun G, sadly, some of our best players happen to be playing in those tournaments. So we'll see how we cope with it.
For sure. He also says that 6-1 was mostly Captain Larissa's fault. We have the carry out. Look, when Lloris came off at halftime, I mean, it says everything about some of the characters we've relied on in the dressing room when they quit at halftime. And that's exactly what happened. He quit. You know, this nonsense of he's got an injury, that was to cover up what happened in the dressing room. No one wanted that, what happened in that dressing room. I've been in them situations. Well, actually, I haven't. I've sort of have, you know, because I was a great footballer. But, you know, when you've been in them situations where you walk into the dressing room, you're 3-4-0 down, you're like, everyone's going mad, everyone's screaming and shouting, everyone's throwing the blame at each other. There's stuff flying around everywhere. That's exactly what happened. Hugo Lloris obviously went to speak up. Someone said, hang on, Hugo, shut the F up. I mean, look what you've done this season. Don't you start going around throwing the blame. Then he's obviously turned around and go, how dare you, I'm the captain, you respect me. Someone else has obviously stepped up and said, well, you know, we respect, you know, act like a captain then. Show us with performances on the pitch. And it all imploded. That's exactly what happened in the dressing room. It doesn't take a rocket science to work out what happened there last year. But we have Big Vic this time. And, you know, I did say in the squad, what was it? The predicted 11 I put out. That Big Vic does save his best games for the big games. So hopefully we see another cracking performance there, because I've no doubt the lack of clean sheets is keeping him awake at night. You know, he's sitting there, you know, I can't believe what's going on. Where I was to what's going on now. It's unbelievable. He also says under Poch, too much Deadwood. Jack under Nuno, weak manager. Deadwood under Jose, too much Deadwood. Under Conte, changes his tactics, which hurt us. Now injuries, unlucky games. It's a different November, in my opinion. Come on, you Spurs.
Dave, you mentioned the fact that a lot of it just had to do with quality and not actually, you know, doing the business over the summer. And I'd agree with that with certain managers, and I'd sort of agree with that with this manager as well. But I guess Darks and G sort of saying, while some of those may be happening right now, there is sort of a different feeling, or there's just a different sort of sense of, I guess, security around where, I mean, despite these being really bad results, maybe Darks and G has more of a sense of security or confidence in what we're actually trying to do and what we are attempting here. Whereas maybe under Nuno, under Jose, under Conte, it was sort of results dependent, maybe because of the style of play, but also because I think we knew that those managers were sort of short term, that we didn't really have much confidence in them in some cases in the first place. So they were sort of riding on their results and they were sort of dependent on them. Whereas Ange is supposed to be, I guess, just changing the whole club and the whole ethos of how we play from top to bottom. And that will take time and that will have some growing pains. But it is sad to see Darks and G that I think he is sort of experiencing some of the same sort of things that did put other managers under pressure and under the bus a little bit during these November and December periods. I think Dave was spot on about the quality of players, the Deadwood, but then also too, I think it had to do more to, you know, with maybe the mentality as well as sort of just Spurs in general, seemingly to just sort of switch off when they reach this kind of period. But maybe it is slightly different, Darks and G, just because we have Ange, and Ange has a different sort of approach to this. And also he knows about these sort of tough periods and that they do happen under his sort of tenure. And I guess this is the period in which it is happening.
100%. But what I will say is the sign of a true leader. Someone texted me this yesterday. It was a great quote. You know, someone that has a plan to lead you out of it. And that's exactly what Ange Postecoglou has. He's not sitting there bitching and moaning. He's got a plan to lead us out of it. So, look, I do hold hope that this time will be different. However, we've been here before, haven't we? How many times, you know? And look, the style of play argument under Jose and Conte, I don't take that as a weapon to beat them with. Because what are people asking Ange to do now? Be more pragmatic. And at the end of the day, if Jose Mourinho can manage Real Madrid and all them Galactico superstars can muck in and do his tactics and go and win a league, Tottenham players have absolutely zero excuse to challenge him on his tactics and stuff like that. But Dax Sungji, I do agree with you. Maybe there's a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel this time around. Can
I just quickly add to that, Dave, on that point there? Sorry, I had to pop away for 5 minutes, so I do apologise. Look, players under Mourinho, under Conte, under Nuno, under Poch, always too hard. It's this. We keep hearing the same excuses again and again. Under Ange, we're getting the football we wanted. You're right when you said earlier, Dave, we don't have a right to criticise. We wanted this. We wanted this football. And if the same players keep letting down these previous managers and letting down Ange as well, then it surely points to the problem. Hang on a minute. We've been saying this for a while. It's always been the players. It's never been the managers. These managers have won everywhere else they've been. And they can't win at Tottenham. Why? Because of the players. There can't be bad managers. I mean, when Conte left, he hit the nail on the head. We've went and got Ange. Let's back Ange now with the players he wants. And then we'll see success. We can't keep blaming these managers. I mean, Nuno, the Garden Gnome, was a disaster waiting to happen. I will grant you there. And I saw him last week in the Garden Centre. Still fishing, still standing, doing what he does best. But it's the players, Dave. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No.
Jump
no,
in.
absolutely.
Sorry.
I couldn't agree more with it, my man. I'm just absolutely fed up of it, and for me, it's up to them to dig us out. What do they want? Another new manager? They're going to bitch and moan about everything else on the name. They just got to suck it up now and muck in. Now's the time to work hard instead of opening your mouth and leaking stories to journals. That's what I would say on that one, guys. Jack, I'll go to you on this one. Where am I gone? I've gone too far down.
Just quickly, Chris is in the house. It's the Chris Derby today, Dave. Chris out at Newcastle. It's the Newcastle Derby. It's the Chris Derby.
Big up, Chris, lad.
Lives up in Newcastle. It's a big day for him. Hopefully, we get the win. My man. Big up, Chris. Good to see you. Jack, getting the lead has not been an issue at Tottenham as of late. Instead, the challenge has been protecting the lead in order to win. You have to learn to protect the slim lead, in my opinion, or the other alternative is to go and kill them off, which we have failed to do both. Do we lack that sort of killer instinct, that winning instinct? And if so, who's responsible for it? The players, the management, or Daniel Levy? Or the other argument is that the tactics are too relentless for the 90 minutes.
Daniel Levy would have put away one of those chances, I think, in one of the recent games. I think he actually would have shown a bit more composure than some of our forwards had. So maybe if Daniel Levy were on the pitch, we actually would have scored and gotten the second. I just think for some reason we do sort of take our foot a little bit off the gas when we go 1-0 up. Because, Dave, I've said this to you. I actually have full confidence in most games that we're going to score first. We come out the gates so strong and so fast that it is intimidating and it does catch teams off guard, and it takes a while for them to sort of get into the same speed and sort of come to terms with, wow, we're going to have to really, sort of match this sort of intensity and match this sort of pace to really catch up with them. And it seems like a lot of teams sort of struggle to, meet our sort of intensity and our energy in that first opening 10, 15 minutes. And we usually do grab a goal in that opening 10 to 15 minutes. But once we grab that goal, it's either because we have, gotten that distance or that separation, and also because we usually are dominating the game, that it seems like maybe they feel like it's going to be easy, or, just sort of it's just going to sort of resolve itself, right? Like, you go 1-0 up, the rest of the goals are just going to sort of flow in after that. And it seems like we've been punished for that sort of type of approach or that sort of mentality where, you think that if you are dominating the game in the first 20 minutes and you're 1-0 up, that team is going to go on to win. But I'd agree with that, whoever sent in that super chat from earlier about, going 1-0 up or going, a goal ahead early in the game doesn't really actually mean anything. Like, you see plenty of teams who go 1-0 up and then end up losing the game 3-1, 4-1. Doesn't necessarily mean that's how the rest of the tale is going to go. And Spurs, for some reason, it's like because we get that early goal, because we're dominating, we just sort of think that's how the rest of the game is going to go. And we don't really give that team the credit that they somehow will pull themselves back into it and they'll grab, some sort of equalizer, or they can sort of meet the intensity or meet the pace of it. And it's frustrating to see, Dave, because I think it's clearly just a bit of complacency, and sort of just also, I guess, us thinking that we're playing so well that, the team can't possibly find a way to, catch up with us, or in any way, sort of punch us, but they can. And I think we've been punished for it too many times.
Yeah, look, I couldn't agree with that. It's just a repetitive cycle. I'm just absolutely bored of it. So, they have to learn to manage the games.
Just keep that same intensity, and you'll go 2-0 up. Keep that same intensity, you'll go 3-0 up. But for some reason, we go 1-0 up, and we just sort of think, well, that was, the rest of the goals are just going to flow in now, and they don't, and we've been punished for it.
It's like we get cocky. We get cocky. It's like we get a bit cocky. I think, this is easy now. We don't have to try. And this is when winning teams win, they do it for the full 90 minutes, not 45 minutes. That is why teams win leagues, because constantly, game in, game out, it's performance after performance after performance after performance after performance. When you win FA Cups, when you win League Cups, when you win Champions Leagues, it's all about keeping up to performance. We don't. And this is the problem.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Look, for me, it's a complacency issue. When you allow Dyer and Davies to last here 10 years, when we sit here and wait for Lo Celso for 4 years to start turning in any sort of half-decent performance, you wonder why we see complacency out on the football pitch. They go hand in hand. Moondog, good afternoon, sir. Good to see you. Please let me know who you have on for full goal scorer. I might have enough time to be able to sprint down to the bookies just before I start on We Are Tottenham TV, my man. So please do let me know.
Well, what's on your mind then, Dave? What would you say to Moondog? Who would be, if you were to do an opening goal scorer for Spurs, who would be the man today? Who would you tell him?
I have a feeling Richie's going to play, and I think it could be him today. I don't know why. I just feeling Richie. Sorry, interrupted. Sorry. No, you're not interrupting at all, lad. I just feel like Richie's going to do it today.
No. Richie's a small fish in a big pool. I've been saying this from day one. This is too big of a leap for Richie. It happens. You buy players and they don't work out. Richie's one of them that doesn't work out. Everyone's saying, give him a chance. At Everton, he was the focal point. It was a small club. He was a big fish in the small pool. He's come to a bigger club. It ain't working out for him. It ain't working out. And I think it's time we start using Velez or we had this yesterday, Dave, in the chat, and I did call you the Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan Kenobi of the Spurs community, or Del Boy, one or the other. Take your pick.
Look, I'd rather be Obi-Wan Kenobi, Look, when it comes to, I do like Del Boy, actually. I like his jacket and stuff. But look, when it comes to Richarlison, I'm not going to sit here and debate whether Richarlison's good enough for Tottenham long-term, this, that, and the other, right? I fully get it when it comes to Richarlison. But after the West Ham game, everyone's going, Brendan Johnson slowed it right down, kept them coming back inside. So did Kulu. Okay, agree with that. But when they're doing it constantly for 90 minutes, you've got to ask yourself the question, why? When Kulu did go to venture into the box, into crossing positions, who was there for him to cross to? When Pedro Porro went to put the ball into the box near the end a couple of times and stuff, flashing it across to the near post, what player in the box made that run to the near post to try and get a flick on? No one. And the problem is there's no one in the box for them to play to. We can go out in January and sign all the wingers we want to. Every single one of them will come in and face the same problem. Everyone said, Gill, no end product. Johnson, no end product. Kulu, no end product. Why? The only chance his son gets is against teams that come out and play against us, play a high line, where he can make runs in behind and we can use his pace. But with the way we play, we need a presence in the box. There's no coincidence that when Richarlison plays, he finds himself in goal-scoring opportunities. Now, I'll take the argument. He does not finish his dinner. And I get that. But why does he find himself in them positions? Because he knows how to move in the box. There's a massive difference. Someone's brought up as a winger, has played a winger all his life. His natural movements are of a winger. When we're up against teams like West Ham and stuff like that, how many times have you seen Harry Kane go in front of a player, hold him off like that, and show the pass to the midfielder to make? Or show the pass for the winger to make? Son doesn't do that. Son comes out and wants everything to feet and passes it back to the midfield. We have to go with something different up front, in my opinion, today.
Yeah,
we need that presence in the box. And plus, I'd also argue, and this isn't a dig at Sonny, by the way, because for me, I think we're not utilizing Sonny to his full capacity. We're only seeing 50% of him when the ball gets near him. Pedro Porro, and this is a fact, this is a stat, has had more touches in the final third than what Son has this season. Something's not right, and that shows we are not getting the best out of Sonny. We're not getting him enough ball. And for me, is he scoring any more down the middle than what he would out wide? No, he's not. So put him back out there.
When you look at Richarlison, Dave, his best position Everton was on the wing. That's when he played his best at Everton on the wing. He had his chances against West Ham. He should have scored. We need to try something different. Stick Velez in there. Velez is a good player who's good in the air. But look, you can say a player's never ready. You got to stick him in sometime. We can't keep using the same players, Dave, game after game that no, are not going to perform. We all want Richie to do well after what he come out with. We all want him to do well, but he isn't the striker for us. You're right. We got bite in the ass because we didn't replace Harry Kane in the summer. I agree with you, and I was wrong. So I'm here to apologise to the mighty Dave. Some of my opinions, I was wrong. But you can't keep using Richie because he ain't going to perform for you. Try Velez. Let's put him up there. Dave, he's not ready. No player's ever ready. Put him in there. It's either single
the Prophet is apologizing, Dave.
Look, I'll take that all day long, you know. Look, I don't want anyone to apologize to me over the, Harry Kane arguments or debates and that in the summer. At the end of the day, it is what it is. This is what we do, and hopefully people walk away from it with what they deem is right. But look, with Velez, when he's come on, he hasn't touched the ball. He hasn't done anything. I've watched him for the under-21s this season. Yeah. He doesn't stand out head and shoulders above everybody else that plays. No. For me, I don't think he's the answer. He really isn't ready. And that we shouldn't have tried to bring him in here to be the answer to Harry Kane either. Velez needs a loan move. He needs to be playing with the under-21s. For me, I just don't think he's quite ready.
So who would you go for then, Dave? Who would you, if you could pick a striker in January, who would you go for? Who is the main target you want us to go after?
Oh, look, I'm not even going to get into January. I'll get into that, another day. But look, today, I would go with Richie. One final chance down through the middle. And the reason why I say that is Ange Postecoglou spoke about in the pre-match press conference, since the injury, he's moving freer in training, and stuff like that. So for me, I'd give him that one last opportunity through the middle. Just to try something different today, because I do fear Newcastle will eventually look to shut up shop. What do we do then? Jack, where are you on that situation?
I agree with you on Velez in that I don't think he's ready. And when he has come on, he's really just sort of run about and just been sort of like an annoying kind of mosquito, just sort of pressing the center backs. But he's done really, not much more than that. And when he's had chances, I guess, get on the ball or sort of make enough of an impact, he does look a little bit lost, or it does look like, the game is a bit too fast or just too much for him. And when you've had chances in the under-21s and he hasn't really, blown us away there either, you could say Lancashire has probably had maybe better performances, maybe in the under-21s than maybe even he has. So I agree with you, Dave, on Velez. I don't think he's ready. I really hope that, I don't think it was, but I really hope it wasn't in any way connected to Harry Kane, his signing. I think it was just sort of maybe an opportunistic young talent that maybe sort of Spurs had been keeping an eye on, and then they saw that there was a chance to get it done over that summer. That's what I hope, because if it was in any way connected to Harry Kane, I'd find that quite sad, actually, because that's just not good enough, or even shouldn't even in any way be sort of, thought of in the same sort of breath or thought of in the same sort of sentence, having him have that sort of pressure on him and also having that sort of expectation that one day he's going to replace Harry Kane. I think that's just silly. That would be silly.
Look, I think the intention was look, I agree with you to a certain extent on that, Jack. I think the intention was for Richarlison to take the lead, with Velez maybe to be that guy to come off the bench and fill in here and there. However, it just hasn't worked. But I sort of knew it wouldn't work. I tried highlighting this in the summer. Everyone was like, Ange doesn't need a striker. I mean, he saw Gakamakas to bring him forward last year, scored 30 plus goals before him over across 2 seasons.
You look at the great, you look at Celtic. Yeah.
Of course he needs a striker. Every manager needs a striker. I mean, look, hopefully we've learned our lessons on that anyway. But today, that's what I would do. In the comments, let me know what you would do, what changes you would make to that front three, because we can't keep persisting with it. It ain't going to change. Donovan Davies, some of the squad struggle to maintain the intensity for 90 minutes, especially if we score first. Dermo, will head down to you on this one, and I'll also sort of throw in another bit of a minefield of a question on top of that.
Ready for the hand grenade.
The more these defeats are rolling on, the more people are starting to come out and question Ange. Not only Spurs fans, now the media is at it. Simon Jordan, who loves Daniel Levy, and Ange Postecoglou is now at it and stuff like that. I mean, like, is Ange Postecoglou the problem here? Is that Postecoglou's tactics the problem here?
No, Dave, come on, man. We can't keep going down this road.
We have to ask these questions. I have to ask.
I know, but I'm not. That's not directed at you, by the way. No, Dave, not again. But it's like, no, Dave, not again. We're not going down this road again. Surely not. Look, we got to give managers chance. Simon Jordan, I quite like listening to be honest, and I quite like the stuff that comes out.
I actually really like him.
I do, and I think a lot of he says makes sense. It does make sense when he does put things into bigger pictures. But you can't keep questioning manager after manager after manager when some of the players that were under previous managers are still here. Yeah. It's the players that haven't got the football intelligence to take up what the manager is saying. How many times does Ange get angry at the players at half time? Look at Man City. First half, we had no belief in ourselves. We had nothing in us. Come out and was like a different team. We got all the belief in. He had to tell the players, you got to believe in yourself. You should be pulling that shirt, believe in yourself. I'm the better player here. I don't care. I've said it all the way in the Man City thing. Man City is just a team. It's not a machine. Nothing to be scared of. We should be scared of anyone. And Donovan's right. Some of the squad do struggle to maintain intensity for 90 minutes because they're not good enough. That's nothing to do with Ange. And the fans that want Ange out and the fans that want Ange out is, hang on a minute, you wanted Conte out, we're playing shit football. You wanted Tottenham to play Tottenham way. We're now playing the way of Tottenham. Now you want Ange out. So who do you want in next? Please tell me, who do you want to take over from Ange? Because we cannot keep manager to manager to manager to manager. We're not building anything. We're just sitting there building half a foundation. Another manager comes in, breaks all that foundation off, builds half a house again, doesn't finish it, knocks that house down again. So please tell me, who do you want? I want Ange to stay. Ange will be successful. He's been successful everywhere he's gone. And everyone's going to say, oh, the Scottish League, poo-hoo. Well, you've got to beat what's in front of you in the Scottish League. And me and Dave will watch a hell of a lot of Celtic. Celtic are our second team. We've watched a hell of a lot of Celtic. Wenger, he was very successful in Japan before he come to the Premier League. Everyone, Arsene who? Look what he did down the road. So why can't Ange do the same? We need to back him. We need to give him time, and we need to be patient. And all these fans that want Ange out, who do you want? Because you keep swapping manager after manager after manager. It doesn't solve the problem. It's the players. The players are the problem. Can people please wake up and see, was Conte a bad manager? He won everywhere he went. Mourinho, was he a bad manager? He won everywhere else he went. Poch, he lost the players at the end of it, to be fair. And Poch should have done more, in my opinion, when we're in chances to win stuff. But you can't keep blaming managers. I am sick to death of it.
Look, I hear you. I hear you. I'm with you on that. Jack, Donovan, he says some of the squad struggle to maintain the intensity. Is the intensity of the tactic the problem, or is it down to the fitness levels of the problem? I think that's maybe what Donovan actually could be getting at. Yeah, he says, don't think it's tactics, but player sort of willingness or fitness.
I think, to be honest, I think a lot of these players are capable of keeping the intensity for close to 90 minutes. To be able to do it for the whole 90 minutes, I find is probably quite difficult, actually. I think that's probably why Ange uses substitutions more than other managers, because he realizes that it does take a toll on these players, and they do have to sort of have this unrelenting sort of energy and this unrelenting sort of kind of style of play that can be quite taxing and can be quite draining on you. But it should be the case that towards this stage of the season that most of these players should be able to do it for more than a 60-minute period. I think it is more player will, maybe fitness, but I think it's more on the will kind of side, like he's sort of suggesting. I think it is that complacency that starts to set in when we go 1-0 up, or when we are dominating a game, we just sort of think the opposition are just going to succumb to the pressure and are just sort of going to wave the white flag and just let us score 2 or 3 past them. But they won't. They will be happy to sit in. They will be happy to just sort of see if they can get to halftime, get to full time, with still sort of a punching distance or still kind of staying in the game. And there's so many teams that are so professional and so good at that. And I think we're being punished for it. So I think it's more having to do with will than it is having to do with tactics, or even, I don't know if fitness plays much of a part, because these guys are working constantly on their fitness. And as well as like they have a week to prepare, for most of these games too. So I don't think fitness has much to do with it. I think it is more player will. And it's just this weird sense of complacency that sets in when we go 1-0 up, and when we're dominating games, we just think the opposition are just going to fold and just give up. And it's never going to be that way.
Donovan, let me know, in the chat what your thoughts are off the back of what Jack and Dermot has to say there. Look, very interesting question and great talking point. Is the intensity too much, or is it the players' fitness? Look, for me, the intensity shouldn't be a problem, because they moaned about the lack of intensity under Conte and Jose. So, in effect, they asked for this, so it shouldn't be a problem for them. Fitness, look, I wonder, does the lack of sort of preseason or the monsoon season in preseason, some of the games cancelled, as that come back to bite us maybe a little, didn't pan out the way we wanted. I can definitely understand, if that's your logical thinking behind it, for sure. And look, maybe it has had a knock-on effect. We just don't know. Maybe it has, my man. But great question and great talking point, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. Leighton, I'll save this one until Jack comes back and we'll get straight onto it, my man. Just give us 2 minutes there. Moondog, if Johnson on the right, I fancy him to score plus Kulu. Johnson, do you know what?
Would you play him up front? Would you play Johnson up front? Would you play Johnson as a striker?
No.
Just something different, something out there.
What's he going to do? Is he more clinical than Son? No. Is he going to offer us any more of a presence than Son?
If Son's out today, if Son's injured today, right, which he could well be, what do you try? Throw sixpence, throw double six, and say, right, let's change it up completely. Put Richie in the wing, Johnson up front.
No. Richie up front, he's a striker. He has the natural movement. He'll give the wingers something to aim at. He'll make movements. When it comes to Brennan Johnson, you're just going to do exactly what you're doing with Sonny. Move a winger up front because he's not working out wide. No. If he ain't working, he sits there and he rides the bench until he makes it work. Yeah, it's on him to make it work.
Yeah, it's on to Richie to get the goals on. Look, whoever plays today, I'll back 100%. I just want to see something different. But big up to Luton Town, holding Man City 0-0 at the moment.
Big up to Nicholas Wood, Dave. He just dropped a present with me midstream. That was what I left for 2 seconds for. He just popped on over to my house, decided on his middle of his own errand or middle of his own run, gave me a Christmas present. So everybody, shout out the one and only Lazy 8, one of the members of the Basuma Third Kit Society. And that's probably the best ever doorbell I've ever received mid-game or midstream. That's probably one of the best things I've ever done midstream is getting
I wonder as
a
you made you
ring
remember the Third Kit Society. I wonder.
Oh, maybe. We'll find out soon. But that was hilarious. That was the best ever interruption I've ever had. Sorry.
You have to let us know now, Jack. You have to let us know Christmas Day. You have to let us know what that present is if he has made you remember.
Legend. Absolute legend.
Sorry,
but big up, Moondog. Look, Kulu's one. I have my problems with him as well. After that equaliser against Man City, if he really wants to go on and become one of them top wingers, he has to start following them games up with more consistency in the next game. Goals and assists. He's sort of, I don't know what's wrong with him. It's like he's at a sort of certain level and he's got all the attributes and ability to go on and be that player. But I don't know, it's just not quite happened yet. And I'm not sure what the problem is with that. But look, Kulu could definitely get on the score sheet today. I actually wouldn't be adverse to playing Kulu up front either. I think he could play there. But Jack, you're back late and everything. He says, what's the score today from the Happy Clappers?
I gave him 3-1, I think is what I said. And Leighton's going for a 2-0, I think, to Newcastle. I said to Leighton in the chat, I don't blame you for going 2-0 to Newcastle. I think any prediction out of this game, I don't really blame you for whatever you come up with. But for me, Happy Clapper, official certification, Happy Clapper score prediction, I'm saying 3-1 because the 3-1 prediction everyone had for the West Ham game, maybe there's just a bit of a delay. some sort of kind of miscommunication with the football gods, Leighton Evelyn. So the 3-1 is going to happen today instead. So certificate of approval from the Happy Clapper crew and club, 3-1. There you are. Come back to me later, Leighton.
Dermo?
Come back to me later. Rub it in later, Leighton, or I'll rub it in. I'll find you, Leighton, after when it comes true. I'll come
Leighton,
and find you.
Happy Clapper number 2, reporter for duty. For me, I'm gonna go 4-1. I don't know why. I'm probably gonna set myself up for a big letdown and a big failure, but I'd like to think the players have some pride, so I'm gonna go for them to put it right. And I'm guessing Newcastle might take their eye off the game, especially second half. For me, that's where we can, put some goals by them. Dermo, Happy Clapper number 3, welcome in, reporter for duty. What's your score prediction, my man?
I'm going for 4-0. I'm going for 4-0. We can do it. We can do it. And yes, somebody says we need help. Yeah, I know we need help, but I don't care. When it comes to Tottenham, I am so happy to be a happy clapper. So there you go. I'm happy clapping. 4-0 Spurs. Come on.
Leighton, let me know what let me know what the negative Nancy out there is predicting. Predicting my
Jack's
man,
face
please.
says it all. Jack's face. Look at that. Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Where did he get that?
Christmas has come early from Nicholas Wood, everybody. Look at this guy.
I want that. I want
Nick,
that.
Oh,
if
this
you're
is
listening,
the best. This is Dave. I will now have the best Christmas sweater in any situation in any party.
Right. Nick, where did you get that? Me and Dave want one now. We're really jealous.
This is gorgeous.
where did he get that? I need to know.
This is
same here.
Sorry to interrupt everybody. I'm making this all about myself. I'm just derailing the stream. Thank you, Nicholas Wood. Thank you, Nicholas Wood, everybody. Lazy 8, sir. Putting this on right now.
My Christmas present has a lot to
I couldn't even call it. I wish it was almost a bit more like an ugly sweater, because this is just more of a handsome, kind of sweater. Like I dominate any Christmas sweater party any time. I just walk in with this one. Don't ever have to buy a Christmas sweater ever again.
That's unbelievable. Fair play. That's absolutely unbelievable. Big yourself up, Nick. What an absolute gift, my man.
Wow.
What a gift. Please let me know where you might need one for my dinner table at Christmas. For sure, man. Big yourself
up. Please, me
and
Dave both need to know where you got that. I don't think
it's possible to put on a sweatshirt while keeping a headphone in, so I might have to take the headphone in. I think I'm finding that out. That might be impossible. So I'll get back to you.
Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do.
Jack's doing his Mission Impossible. We just need the music now with him putting the thing on with the headphones.
Stop. But big up, Leighton Evelyn, my man. Really appreciate the support. Donovan Davies with the super sticker, giving the thumbs up. Really appreciate that, my man. And hopefully you're keeping well. Great talking point, buddy. And then we're going to take couple more chats, and then we're going to play you your song, your annual song, to get you built up for the game. And then you'll see us back here for the watch along in a little while. Where are we at now? We have
the big
Joseph.
Thumbs up from Jonathan Davis, by the way, the super sticker.
Yeah.
Big thumbs up if you didn't already see it. Big up, Jonathan.
Yeah, legend. Appreciate that, my man. Joseph says, big up all. The problem is the players, and first problem is the chairman. Until he backs a manager with a squad of at least 18, the manager can trust then nothing will change. We all needed to back Adge. And you know what, Joseph, I absolutely couldn't agree more. And you know what, part of me, the reason why I would like Ange Postecoglou start turning to youth players to try and fill out that squad is Pochettino done it. Look how long he ended up lasting here. He just turned around and said, nah, I'm not keep persisting. My job's going to be on the line. I ain't persisting with that heap of dog shit. So I'm just going to start pulling up players from the academy. And it actually worked out in his favor. It worked out in his favor. And what it did do is to set a tone. All you overpaid superstars, you either perform or you don't play. It's that simple. So for me, I would like Ange maybe to start doing that a little bit more. I know he has spoke about Donnelly and Dorrington. Hopefully we see a bit more of them, my man. That would be absolutely brilliant. But look, I hate to say it, but it does start with Daniel Levy, because he allows these players to walk around and dictate what they want to do regardless who the manager is. Under Conte, the players didn't go to Conte if they had issues. They went up to Daniel. They've done the same under Jose, and I'm just absolutely sick of it. The reason why we see complacency and see these same things is because trying is too hard. Keeping it up is too hard. They know it's grand. We're never going to take the can. We run this place. We run the lunatic asylum. The manager's going to end up carrying the can. And like I said before, when you've got players of Davies and Dyer that have lasted here 10 years, the Celso 4 years, and we're still sitting here, please, Gio, please put in a performance. What are we doing? Liverpool wouldn't tolerate that. Look what they've won. City wouldn't tolerate that. Look what they've won. You know, the blueprint's out there. If you want to go and win something, you have to have a hungry squad. Everyone pulling the right way. That when they do get an opportunity, when they walk onto the pitch, they're not throwing their hands and moaning about because of the lack of opportunities they've got before, which when they do that, they only show why they haven't been given the opportunities. They go out there and put in a decent performance and help Liverpool get over the line because they're all pulling the one way. They all want to succeed. But at Tottenham, we have players that are on too big of a wages, nowhere near good enough, and they don't want to let them go. And it's a huge problem that we manifest ourselves by handing them contracts without performing, Joseph. Absolutely spot on, my man. Could not agree more. And shit will not change until we backhand Postecoglou, give him the January transfer window next summer and next season. And let's see what we can go and do, my man. Big yourself up, Joseph. Really appreciate the support, brother. Jack, do you want to say anything to Joseph just quickly?
Dave, once again, I think you've answered most of that really, really well. The only thing I can add to it is Daniel Levy. The one thing I think he is responsible for, and to agree with Joseph here, is that majority of managers that have been successful in the Premier League, you look at their substitutions, the players they have to pick from, even when there is an injury or even when there is a suspension, they have somebody serviceable, somebody that they still can sort of at least kind of continue with the same sort of philosophy, the same sort of ideas, even if it's a slight drop off, they still, aren't too concerned with sort of who's there as the backup. Whereas you look at Spurs, whenever we've had one injury to a starting 11, it's usually been pretty detrimental. And usually the drop off is so significant that the manager ends up sort of taking the fall for it. And that does come back to Daniel Levy not giving any manager that he's had recently the full backing and the full sort of confidence to deliver what or at least he's hired them to do. He's sort of kind of, given him maybe where he's sort of thinking like, okay, let's see if he can get it done, with this sort of set of players. Maybe then I'll reward him a little bit after that. But instead of just going full in, giving the guy what he needs and what he wants and seeing if he can deliver with that. Instead, Daniel Levy seems to enjoy sort of challenging the managers and giving them half of what they need, half of what they want, and see if they can be able to turn it around. So it's something that's come back to haunt us far too much.
Spot on. And just quickly, just to add, I wonder the fact that we don't see any youth players come in here. I wonder if that's to do with what Tim Sherwood said about before when he wanted to play Kane over a failing Soldado. So Daniel Levy said, you can't do that. What are you doing that for? We're about to sell Harry Kane, make a bit of money. With all the money we've invested in Soldado, why aren't you playing him? So I wonder has that got anything to do with it? Let's wait and see, Joseph. But big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate the support, and hopefully we can get the win today, my man. Jamie Nicholas, he says, give me 1 second, I have it here. He says, please, for the love of God, Spurs win for me. It's my birthday Monday. I need you guys to win. Come on, you Spurs. Look, we need ourselves to win. I hate losing. It absolutely kills me, so it does. It puts me in a bad mood. I walk around moping, everything else. So, I need to win, Jamie, my man. Big yourself up.
Happy birthday.
And then we have Derek Sunji. Oh, my God, Luton scored against City. How did that happen? 1-0. Is it? God. Oh, Jack, I can't hear you. Can't hear you, Jacka.
Oh,
I won $20 off of that Dark Sun G, actually, them going 1-0 up. Let me even show the proof. I have the proof in just a second. There you are. Down 1-0. I put $2 on that, and I got 22 in return. Big up to you, Dark Sun G. Absolutely loving that Luton Town. Pep out. I wonder if Pep is going to be under the same pressure as Ange is.
They make excuses.
Hashtag Pep out.
They make excuses for him, so they will. They'll make excuses.
He won't be. It seems like Ange is under far more pressure than Pep is. Pep has been losing left and right.
Can I just say something here, lads? Tottenham with 10 men didn't concede a goal. We won 1-0 or 2. Or was it 1-0? I think it was 1-0. And we didn't concede a goal with 10 men. Arsenal went there with 11, conceded 3. Man City with 11 have conceded 1. You know what? I think we're a better side than them too. Once we got all our players back, Ange isn't such a bad manager after all. In Tottenham, we trust. Woo-hoo.
For sure. But look, Dermotron, before we play everybody a song on our way out, where can people find you, my man?
If you like what I have to say, if you want to come over, please come over to THFC Till I Die, your home of Tottenham past, present, and their exciting future under Mr. Ange Postecoglou. You got everything from watch-alongs, post-match, pre-match, the roundtable discussion, the Cultural Clock podcast, as well as returned. And we've got a few other little bits and pieces which we're going to do before Christmas. And don't worry, guys, on your Christmas day, me and Philip will have some pre-recorded stuff for you as well to get you over the Christmas dinner. If you don't want to watch the King's speech, watch the Godfather's speech. He'll be there giving his wisdom and his knowledge of Tottenham, and I'll be throwing my 2 pence worth in as well. But please get over there. We're trying to get to, we really want to be at 1,700 before Christmas and 2K by my birthday, by the 5th. So come on, guys, get me there and make my Christmas a happy one.
I love it. Love it. People, please get over and get behind Sean and smash that subscribe button. We're going to play you a song on our way out, so we're going to grab everyone's quick score predictions. And also, what song you want to hear? I'm tempted to play the Richarlison one.
Zombie.
The Study one, a Doji one, Postecoglou one. Let me know in the chat, or Kulu one, the general consensus. We will play on the way out. But Dermo, what's your score prediction quickly, my man?
4-0. 4-0 Tottenham. 4-0. The prophet has spoken. Newcastle will fall in 4.
Love it. Love it. Jacko, what's your score prediction, my man?
3-1. There you are, Leighton. Get ready to come back to me later for it, sir. 3-1 from the Happy Clapper crew. Like I said, I feel like maybe we sort of played so well against West Ham, couldn't get the result. Maybe we'll do it this time where we just sort of carry on what should have been an easy performance and what should have been a win. Moving over to this one. We just got it wrong. Clerical error. For sure. Big yourself up, man. For me, I'm going to go 4-0 or 4-1. Hopefully we can dish them out of hiding like they dished us last year. Probably won't happen. I live in hope, but if it is right, I'm the new prophet. That's what I would say on that one. But big yourselves up, guys. We had a lot more talking points we didn't actually get into today. I'll save some maybe for the start of the watch along or whatever. But please, hopefully we see you all back here in good health, high spirits at 4 p.m. ready to go at Newcastle. As always from us, come on, you Spurs. In the mighty Ange Postecoglou we trust. Even more now than ever before. We never stop.
Come on, Ange. We love you. We need you.
Come on, you Spurs. We never stop. See you, everybody.
Come on, Tottenham. Zombies. Dave's playing zombies.
I don't know what song to play. Do we want a Postecoglou? Jack, you can have deciding. Doji, Son, Richarlison, Postecoglou.
Postecoglou, Dave, because they got to keep the faith in Ange. Come on.
Do we want a Let It Be or Boom Boom Postecoglou or Postecoglou Baby?
Boom Boom
Postecoglou.
Right. I'll play that, everybody, and we'll see you back here at 4. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
The next one is about Tottenham Hotspur's saviour. Postecoglou, he rode his kangaroo to London from Australia. Tottenham Hotspur's saviour. Postecoglou, he rode his kangaroo to London from Australia. Tottenham Hotspur's saviour. Postecoglou, he rode his kangaroo to London from Australia. He's Tottenham Hotspur's saviour. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for the support today. We'll see you all back here at 4 p.m. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Great job hosting, Dave.
Come on, you Lily Whites.
Really appreciate all the support today from everybody.